Simbingelele Sinamkele Mzansi. Welcome to Expressions, your number one youth current affairs show. I'm your host, Umxolisiwe Kamasango. Namhlanje, we continue to commemorate Ubaba Nelson Mandela Day, which is observed globally. Now, this past weekend on the 18th of July, we were also celebrating the life and legacy of the late Zindziswa Mandela, the daughter of the anti-apartheid icons Ubaba Nelson Mandela kanye nomama Winnie Mandela. But guess what? Namhlanje, I'm joined by a guest presenter, Usisulindelwa Godi, who's standing in for Jacqueline Mapala. Looking awesome as always, Linz. Welcome to Expressions.
Thank you, Mklo, and welcome to Expressions, your number one youth current affairs show. Njengoba Mklo sekashilo-ke, mina ngingilindelwa wakagodi. Today we ask a very important question. Is the youth of South Africa honoring the legacy of our struggle icons? That's our poll question. What is we are not live today, but you can catch us on our social media pages.
Yep, and of course, it's a very important question that we're asking in Namhlanje Expressions. And Lindelwa, speaking of the opportunities that you've had over the past couple of weeks, you've had the chance to speak to young people to find out their views on the issues, right?
Yes,
I'm so keen to find out.
Let's take a look. Yeah. Nginibingelele phindze nginamukele ku-Expressions, your number one youth current affairs show. Mina ke ngingilindelwa wakagodi, and I'll be your stand-in presenter. Yati, there's a quote that says, no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. So no matter how small your action, Mandela Day is about changing the world for the better, just as Babu Mandela did. So today I'll be chatting to your faves, very young people, and they'll be telling us how they spent Mandela Day or what did they get up to on that day. Asbabonen.
I think with me, I haven't actually done a specific thing on a specific day. Something that I've been doing even before lockdown, and I will continue to do, is advise and assist upcoming artists where I can. You know, I'm still an upcoming artist myself, and you know, from when I started to get a little bit of penetration on mainstream media, I started to get a lot of DMs from artists in far places. You know, like the other day I got a DM from a guy in I think it's Tabazimbi, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, the DMs, these guys are asking for things as simple as studio time. So I have a studio, and you know, like artists that are within range to be able to come through to the studio, I always tell them, well, look, my man, I might not be able to give you financial assistance, but if you need studio time, as long as you got your music on lock, come through. I record you. And a lot of guys keep asking me, how did I get my music out there, you know? So, yeah, I mean, just something as simple as advice and just being able to put guys in studio. I've been doing that for a while even. I think it's been about 2 years clean. So, you know, if I can on Mandela Day, I'll continue to do so. And throughout the rest of this year, of course, now with lockdown, you need to, you know, have restrictions with who you bring into your space, because Corona is real, and you know, you don't know where people have been and who they've been exposed to. You know, a couple of my friends have been exposed to it, and of course, you know, these are guys that I used to be with daily, and so now I had to, you know, distance myself from them. Thank the Lord, they've all recovered. So yeah, I think we should just continue to be able to do what we can in the communities.
For me, on Mandela Day, what I did, like, what I can say is I'm from the rural areas. So I normally help people who are in need of something, like clothes. I always give away my clothes for people who need them. More especially, what I do the most is I'm helping the young kids who want to be artists, dancers, who want to see, like, you want to see them on TV. Like now, what I did last month when I was shooting my music video, there's a young boy on my music video. He asked me, he said he want to be, he said he can do anything. I think he's 8 or 9 years. He said, brother, I can do anything just to be famous. Like, he likes fame. So you will see, if you can see my music video. As I said, I'm King Veg. It's gonna be on Channel on MTV page from next week. So that child can dance. He's a young boy. He's very talented. So like, I'm asking everyone, every child who wants me to help him is welcome. Like, most of the people in my class, they know I'm always helping them, giving them studio time free. I pay for them. I shoot them videos. post on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere.
Last week was rather a bittersweet week, not only for the Mandelas, but for the world as well. I mean, we celebrated Mandela Day, and then the saddening passing of Zindziswa Mandela. I mean, let's talk about Zindziswa Mandela. Or rather, let's talk about the legacy that she has left in our country and the role that she played in freeing our country. Let's start with you, Smokes.
So Umama Zinzi Mandela, I believe, was way ahead of her time, just in terms of even what we face today. When you look at what's happening with gender-based violence, when you look at the feminist movement, which I am a proud supporter of, we need gender equality in our time. And I just pray we can stop the malice and we can stop the violence against our women and our queens. And I commemorate Mama Zindzi, and I'm proud of her legacy and what she's left behind, because she spoke with such strength and she was so fearless. She was a leader in her own right. And I come from a family where my dad was Mkhonto Wesizwe and she was as well. So I'm very proud of my dad, and I'm proud of what him and his comrades were able to do, and I'm very proud of Mama Zindzi and what that generation stood for. And I feel we as a generation face our own fights now, with gender-based violence, like I said before, and gender equality. And Mama Zindzi was a huge ambassador for that.
Yeah, I would like to say RIP to Mama Zindzi. And as a woman, I do take a lot of inspiration from her. It's very sad that she grew up without her parents being present in her life, because her parents made that difficult decision to make the sacrifice of fighting for the freedom of all South Africans, Black South Africans, even us who were not even born at that time. So for her to not have that resentment that post-apartheid into a democracy where she feels that somehow she's entitled to be bitter and enraged because she was not afforded the opportunity that we have to be with our parents at home, to visit your parents, call them, and be raised by her sister and be so distant from her own parents. I take a lot of courage from that she's been so selfless, even when she had the opportunity, to have some form of backlash. She decided to be exactly like her mom and dad, and continue to fight for the rights of Black people. So as a woman, I really look up to her and the voice, I recall obviously when she read the speech by Tata Nelson Mandela, that she was a woman of virtue. She was strong, she was powerful. As young as she was, standing there, against the opposition of the apartheid government, having her say, knowing that she too can also be banished, So I take a lot of strength from her and her mother, Mamuli. They really showed us that women have all the leadership qualities. You strike a woman, you strike her rock. So for me, I really hope that I can also be a woman that can be selfless and also fight for those who don't have a voice, because that's exactly what they were all about, giving a voice to the voiceless.
Yeah, Mama Zindzi, her legacy speaks for itself, together with the legacy of the Mandelas. And I think I personally commend her for the strength she had. She grew up right in the heart of apartheid, and her father is an ANC hero, a legend. And everyone that time frame who fought for the struggle, she saw everything that was happening. And she could have been a child and shied away, but she was knee in deep. And when her father got arrested, when she read the speech, she became a mouthpiece for her father, which, then in turn made that she stood toe to toe with her mother, who was also very outspoken and who was basically a face of the struggle when Mandela was in prison. She, still very young, could have seen everything that happened to her father, everything that was happening to the other heroes of the struggle, and she could have been like, hey, let me shy away and not be so public. But she chose to join in the struggle.
Well, even during this period of COVID-19, we received videos of young people giving back to their communities. Aswa.
Hi Expressions, my name is Zindziswa Mandela and I am the founder and managing director of Commemorates Children's Foundation. KCF is a creative and groundbreaking events management that manages social responsibility programs for mining corporations, government departments, private sectors, as well as state-owned entities. It is such a beautiful honor and a blessing for me to be a part of this journey, and I'm forever grateful to God for instilling such a beautiful purpose in my life. Just to take you guys back, on the 6th of June, we had our KCF donation drive-through, whereby we collaborated with our public and sponsors to donate resources that can empower our future generation. This took place at Highfield Mall in Witbank, Emalahleni. We then decided we will deliver such resources to the respective families, but for Mandela Day, we decided to distribute uniform to the relevant schools, as uniform was also part of the donations that were received on the 6th of June. And we also decided we will start a campaign, it's ongoing right now, a campaign which is 67 minutes trade for 67 rands to help feed a child. This is an ongoing campaign that will only end on the 31st of July, as we're also celebrating our 2nd year anniversary as Buhumelele Children's Foundation.
Hey, my name is Reneule Mokhotlwane, and we all know the saying that says, the youth is the future. I took it to heart and I could not agree more. This year for Mandela Day, I feel that it is important, it is necessary for the youth to step up and help our community. We are living through a global pandemic and I feel that we really need to help each other out. It's a very uncomfortable time for everybody and everyone is struggling, but some people are struggling a bit more and we need to do something to make it a bit better for them. In saying this, Mandela Day has come around yet again, and in order to support everything this day stands for, I decided to raise some money by selling these flashlights and torches. What I did with the money that I raised, I gave it to this other charity, Chokers, which supports families and children that are less fortunate than ourselves. So South Africa, I urge you to do something to help our community out. But just remember that helping the community goes far beyond 67 minutes in a day. You can help the community every single day by donating what you have, giving and sharing what you have. Know that there are people in this world that are less fortunate than ourselves, and just lending a hand.
And I am the founder of Best Domestic Services. So me and the team decided for 67 minutes of Mandela Day, we'll be cleaning and disinfecting our Mama Rola. Mama Rola is kulisile as kids and the Sangena Ekretla. So I'm just going to give you a quick show of what we've done so far. Sisters lapha na uneo and busy machine. The mat will be next. La kitchen is busy ama cupboards, the stoves, the fridge, everything. This is just a washroom. And we have ukeke, well, busy in the toilet and bathroom. And that is the disinfecting equipment we'll be using.
Well, Spinde Sinbingelele Sinamgele, you still with Expressions. Namhlanje, we ask a very important question. Umbuzo ukuthi is the youth of South Africa honoring the legacy of our struggle icons? Ku-Skype namhlanje nginobaba uYase Godlo, who is the manager of the Mandela Day and outreach programs from the Nelson Mandela Foundation. Baba sikubingelele sikwamukele ku-Expressions, and we thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today. Speak to us about the significance of some of the outreach programs that you guys at the Nelson Mandela Foundation normally undertake, especially at this time.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. One, to connect with your viewers. The Nelson Mandela Foundation has driven an initiative, especially in this period, that is looking at what South Africans need the most. And at this point, we have looked at what are those basic needs, and we found food to be the most important. So through our campaign that is called Each One Feed One, with our partners, Kolisi Foundation and Mbumba Foundation, the Nelson Mandela Foundation, over the last 3 months, have been doing work of distributing food to those who are in need. And we have gone through all the 4 corners of our country, and we've found families that are in desperate need. And that has been our biggest drive.
Now, Mandela Month this year is very different. First of all, under lockdown regulations, but of course also the loss of the family as well. Usisu Zindzi Mandela Oshil, and I know she normally embarks on very important initiatives with the foundation as well. Kamemanga status biggest Tombeni about what is the foundation doing around this, and maybe some of the works that Usis Zindzi was also involved in with the foundation.
This Zindzi has the ambassador has been a great blessing for us at the Nelson Mandela Foundation. As someone who's contributed greatly, the foundation has sent a statement to acknowledge her works, her contribution to the struggle, but also a contribution to the work she's been doing in representing our country in Copenhagen. And we're quite saddened about it. We're quite saddened. One of my colleagues were actually on a call reminiscing about the person she has been to the foundation, to the family, to the greater society. A great heart, a big heart, someone who totally dearly missed.
Absolutely, she will be totally missed indeed. Now, Budwami, when we continue to have this conversation as Expressions, we a youth current affairs show. Now, I know on social media, we also had some young people saying that, how do we go about and do good work this Mandela month when we, under lockdown as a country? It's a different July in its entirety. What would you say to those young people?
It's quite exciting to hear young people ask this question. It's quite exciting to understand that we are an engaged society. It is important that the youth find the solutions and me ensuring that, in fact, I emphasize this is because the youth in South Africa have also need to show and demonstrate what their needs are and how they reflect and want to represent the legacy that is of Mr. Mandela. And Mandela Day particularly, it's the time where we're saying, as the Nelson Mandela Foundation, let's make sure that we make positive impact. And it's very important that that impact is done in the spaces that they're in. Youth has a very engaged area within, they have an engaged community in social media. So it is also starting those conversations in social media to say, how do we become the change? And how can we come with innovative ways, and especially in this virtual space that we ourselves, to say, how do we make a difference in our community?
Mr. Godlu, we have to thank you so much for your time on Expressions today, and do keep safe.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sibega lapho ke lena uyizoyile now heroes don't really come in capes. Now it matters that difference leyo yenzayo lapha ekhaya. We continue with the so important discussion. You still with the Expressions, your #1 youth current affairs show. Well, we are also aware of the unprecedented times that we find ourselves in, ikakhulukazi ngesikhathi samanje. Kodwa-ke, that should not stop you from extending an act of kindness, ikakhulukazi to those who are in need, as we celebrate the legacy of Utata Nelson Mandela. We are also reminded, see Expressions, of the significance of giving selflessly to others. Angithi Lindela?
Yes, Mkoso. Mina ke ngiya eFreedom Park where I visited Usis Florence, who is giving back to a community by fumigating their spaces. Let's take a look at this. We are still on that Mandela Day tip, and manje is the Freedom Park, where we'll be talking to Usis Florence, who's running an NPO. Well, she gives back to the community by fumigating schools and houses. Let's go check her out.
Okay, I'm now Florence Mweli, Freedom Park, Devlin Soweto, from the project, whereby we assist the community to like as a non-profit organization, we assist disadvantaged communities and vulnerable children. Like now, we are focusing on COVID. As they are opening schools, we have seen that a lot of schools are closing because of Corona. They open today, next week they are closing. So we have thought as a community, as a team, what can we do to assist the community? So we are manufacturing food-press sanitizers that maintain social distance in such a way that we don't come closer to each other when we sanitize the children. So they sanitize themselves as they get into the classrooms. We sanitize everyone, especially the hotspot areas. We actually looking at hotspot areas such as clinics where there are congested people, and homes, like for children homes, and public places like government places where it's congested every day. We are a non-profit organization. As the team, we take money from our pockets. We assist the community from our pockets, from the little that we have. We work from our pockets. We are not paid. We do it for free.
So you don't get any form of funding?
So far, we're not getting any form of funding. It's from our pockets. So we thought of how can we help the community and the schools and other people around us. So we said, no, let's manufacture these things and distribute to the schools so that we can maintain the social distance. Mandela Day, we celebrate in our community. They know us, so they call us, like if they know there is a problem there or there is something they suspect corona, they call us and we go and see, and then we go and fumigate. What keeps us going is the community as a whole, and our councillors, they're also helping us, and our friends. So for now, we are appealing to anyone who would like to partner with us, even the government, private sector, who would like to partner with us as in manufacturing these, and we donate to the schools so that we help our children keep safe from COVID. And we want to fight this because it's a tear of a woman. It's affecting us as parents, as mothers. It's us who get affected muchly, because when we bury the child, it's all the tears of a woman. So as Zindzi, let's fight this together, let's work together, let's unite.
Sibonge kakhulu ke Mzansi Africa for joining us. Ngakhohlwa ke ukuthi Expressions iyabuya futhi next Monday, same time, same place. From all of us here at Expressions, we wish you a spectacular evening going forward. Zindzi,
Thank you, bro.
Bye.